All right, welcome. Daily practice. We're starting to turn this seasonal transitional piece right now. And really, depending on where you are in the world and what's coming up in your body, climate change slash climate collapse is real. So, just the things that we're seeing here in the Chicagoland Great Lakes area is truly indicative of late season heat, damp and wet. And so enter the Chinese medicine pathology of damp heat. Okay, so think of a piece of wood and rain, it's just rained on this wooden fence. The wood is saturated, and out of nowhere comes the blazy sun. And what happens to that wood? It all that heat starts hitting those water molecules in the wood, and it starts to steam, right? Damp heat. This is the season of damp heat. So we're at the tail end of we're at the well now it's September, so we're at the start of September. We're in the cusping time. I would pretty much name it from for like northern hemisphere. What are those latitudes? Pretty much like third week of August to autumn equinox, right? This is the in between. This is late summer season. This is sometimes like for Chicagoland, this is some of the best weather we have the whole year. It's so perfect. It's balmy. It's this is that. But actually, this year it's been very hot, very humid. So again, very damp. So what this encourages is this sort of liver, stagnant, heavy, hot, like your head is discombobulated. You might have more floaters in the eyes. There's just like a fog. Then there's dampness, right? So that's heavy. Maybe the legs or the lower jowl, some part of the belly feels heavy. Your digestion might have gotten sluggish. So that seems kind of funny when we think about it in the context of the actual season. Like, wouldn't this be a kind of, no, there's energy and there's heat and there's upliftment and we could be moving and you could be feeling just so heavy. And then that's going to play into that mental piece as well of whether that's mentally stagnant or other emotions coming up, or maybe the heat end is more. And that's going to inspire anxiety, restlessness, dream disturbed sleep, very visiony, you know. So yeah, it's a fabulous season for disbalance is essentially what I'm saying. So let's engage in a practice today that's going to help with this. We need kind of a few twists, things that are going to get into those wood channels again, but also like bring us into full body harmony. So let's see where that goes. We're inching towards we're moving into really a season that says let's really have this womb yoga. Let's be in this juicy womb space coming into the harvest time. So yeah, this in between season, we've got the heat that's built from all of summer, and that heat now needs to dispel, release. That's our damp heat paradigm. Good times. Um, and what else did I want to say? Really, where we're headed is into the in between season, or the doyo in Japanese, that's governed by earth. So we're going to do a little earth wood practice and get juicy in the womb space, building our womb practice. That's the vibe right now, pretty much for all of us. Even if you're in a colder place, this is still what's happening cyclically, nature wise, that now the heat release from summer so that we ease into fall. And fall, autumn season, is truly ruled by metal faith. It's like a whole other genre. Okay. So I'm going to invite you down onto your back. That's just a really nice place to start. And oh, I'm in this really beautiful place, our friend's house, a legendary yogini. So, of course, we have a beautiful place to practice and beam to you from. So, just enjoying holding ourselves in that beauty and aesthetics of life. the domain of Makamala, wealth and abundance. Couple breaths just to settle you onto the floor. Feel the ground underneath you, this beautiful grounding earth energy holding you, molding around the curves of your body. Where's the breath landing right now? Just where is it naturally falling? The more we work with meditation, other techniques, we'll find that we default right into those practices and spaces. So I find when I take deep breaths, I'm just naturally coming into the lower abdomen region. Arms are out to the sides, little micro movements through the sacrum as we move towards a nice zigzag. Inhaling in the center, exhale, zigzag the knees to the right, turn the head to the left. Inhale, center, exhale. Breathing in and breathing out. Seeing what's happening there. And the hips and the lower abdomen, sacral region. And since we're enjoying this twist, we can observe other sections of the spinal column. After a few times, we might get places that are a little bit more cranky. Right? Damp heat lends itself towards crankiness. Right? We're hot, sweaty, like in theory. And coming back to the center, a little rocky from side to side. Go ahead and draw the knees in towards the chest. And maybe keep with that little bit of rocking. From side to side, you can use your elbow to help you balance. And figure eight. So opposite circles with the knees. And switch. Getting around all these little crevices and corners of the hip sockets. Now we're going nice and wide like a happy baby. Let the knees widen. And just let this spontaneous movement happen from side to side. Nice and wide. Back to the center. Stretch the arms overhead. Nice big stretch to the body. Snow angel. Okay, from here, single leg into the chest or Pavanmuktanasana. We're going to bring right leg in. Stretch the opposite leg. Flex both feet. Breathe into low back. Next inhale, either stretching this leg outwards and down or just stretching it on out. Less strain for the low back. Opposite leg comes up, knee into chest, flex both feet. Next inhale, stretching back out. And all the way down. Make some windshield wipers here. Nice. Bend the left foot, bring that onto the floor. Stretch the right leg into the air. We could clasp around the back of the thigh for support. Let's do ankle circle. And ankle circles in the opposite direction. Flex, point, and then push through the ball mount to the foot. And let's switch legs. Circle. Opposite direction. Flex, point, push through the ball mount. Nice. Stretch both legs. Windshield wipers on the floor. Stretch the arms overhead. Big stretch through the body. Yeah. Okay. So we've got left leg on the floor, right leg extended. Arms are out to the side. We're going to trace a big wide circle. So hip circles from laying down position. So it's about 7. Let's go in the opposite direction for 7. And while we're here, this leg, so either in the center and then stretching out to the side. Back. Angle myself slightly. And opposite leg. Laying down hip circles. So we started with the leg extended. And we're enjoying big hip circles. And the other thing we're enjoying There are differences in the two sides. Right, if you're getting that little sort of thud sound, that's that big ligament just passing over. Go opposite the hip bone itself. Maybe there's other sounds, other clicks. One more here. Nice. And take this one out to the side. I'm going to support this leg a little with my arm. This side range of motion is a little bit different for this external rotation in this way. Because I want to keep this other hip on the floor. Right? I could just keep going, but I'm playing around with what I was able to do on the other side. And back to center. Back for some more zigzag twists. See how things are feeling now. Starting to get things moving. Okay, special focus today. Next move is all of the glutes. Okay, we're gonna come onto our side. We're gonna do some clamshells. So I'm on my side. I've got my bottom leg some 90 degrees. I could bring this hand under for support. If I had a blanket close by, I could do something like this. No reason to not be comfortable in our effort. But right now you might be thinking, oh, is it nap time? Certainly could be. Here we go. So we're at this 90-degree position, and we're going to keep the feet touching, clamshell open and closed. Open. You can kind of do what you want with this arm. Open and close. A little special spotlight on the glutes. Hammies. Let's do about 10 of everything. See where that gets us today. Okay. Next, knees are down, feet are in the air. Clamshell. Done these in a while. Yeah. Bernie. 8, 9. Last one. Okay, take a little breath in between. Okay, next one. Knees are down, and we stamp up with that top leg. So knees are down, feet are up. We're stamping. Just do one. Yeah. What a burn. Good times. Okay, we're gonna flip to the opposite side. Taking my little hot pillow with me. Sure made that easier. Okay, knees bent. Give yourself a second to settle here. Feel the floor. Unruly hair. Got a little out of control. Okay, knees are bent 90 degrees. We started with a nice clamshell. Not sure made things look easy. So we're starting with 10 repetitions of each of these. So a nice goal is about 20 repetitions of these. So good. So things like this show up in like mat Pilates, at your physical therapist. All right, this feels like 10. Back to center. We brought the knees onto the floor, feet together, climb shells in the sky. Oh, it's burning. 10. Oh, take a little breath. We had the good one coming up. Stamping the sky, knees to the ground, stamp up. This is one of the places in my body that feels like lead right now. Oh, this area of my gut. Okay. Has to come up, right? So those places where we feel stagnant in the body, we got to get them going, right? So I'm feeling like this whole like hip flexor, glutes, little TFL. Okay, let's bring it to a couple of these things we did last time. So inner rotation, range of motion for the hips. All part of our womb yoga. Okay, external rotation, range of motion. A little forward fold. And that might be feeling good after the hip movement. Couple more to each side, just getting that nice forward fold. Coming back up to center, wide leg stance. A little churning, arms are out in front, like you're churning a little butter. Although if you've ever churned butter, not this gentle. Moving through hips. Central spine stays pretty upright. And this pose has a lot to do with addressing energy blockages. Let's go in the opposite direction. We do about 10 in each stretch. I know your arms might be getting a little tired. Nice. And back to center. Stretch the arm. Mm-hmm. Turning towards the right, take a nice breath in. Exhale a little bit forward. So we've done a few things that will wake up the hamstring so this shouldn't feel as tight as if we were starting from here. Check in with these shoulders. As one shoulder dipped down, I want to have the shoulders even so that we're actually into the hamstrings here. And inhaling back up. Exhale, opposite side. Feet are flexed, knees are soft. And let's breathe deeply. Next, inhale back up and a little to the center. Let's see. How are those attachment sites, right? What are we feeling through top of the hips, top of the sacrum, SI joint? So there's this fascia there called the lumbar aponeurosis, and it's connected to the hamstrings upwards into the back, all the way to the crown of the head. Just feeling into spaces that are loose, tight, pulling, holding, investigating. Let's add a little movement while we're down here, very gentle. Side to side, exploring the whole of the low back, top of hip. And making our way back up. So if you remember from those 5 elemental stretches, liver stretch to the center, gallbladder stretch, side body, we're going to inhale and stretch up. And as we exhale, we could bring one arm on top or to the inside. If we're to the inside, we could press a little into the thigh and breathe into side body. We haven't done much for opening up the shoulders. It might be a little tight. Be there. Take your time and ease. If you recall, we had a little stretch that we did through here, just bringing this arm down and enjoying a stretch through the side of the neck. Inhale, sweep across. A little rotation up and back. Inhale, sweep across. Rotating open. A little bit down. Let's do 2 more of those. So just soft, gentle rotation type movements that help us explore and stretch a little deeper, activate a little deeper in this therapeutic movement style. So today I've got this just incredibly cranky upper thoracic spine through the shoulders into my jaw. This has been my late summer musculoskeletal paradigm. We're switching sides. And so right now this feels good, and at the same time it does not. It feels like almost nauseating. And that lets me know liver channel is at it's in play here in this paradigm I'm currently enjoying. Let's try some of those sweeping movements. So make space. And then Inhale, sweep across, rotate open, make a little space, a few of them. Allow the sounds to emerge that are speaking to the experience that you're having. And now, back, spiral down. Stretch both legs, windshield wipers. Nice. We're gonna come down onto our bellies and enjoy a little back bending series, strengthening series from there. So give yourself a little spin around to the belly. And just like we oriented ourselves in any other surface area, give yourself a minute to settle in here. Take a breath or two and really just feel the floor beneath you. Feel the whole surface area of the body on the floor. Let's start with a few baby cobras. So legs are together, feet are together for the most part. And we're going to be pushing pelvis into the floor, lifting with the upper back, and then roll the shoulders, squeeze shoulder blades together. Not a lot of weight on the hands. That's our inhale. And we exhale, forehead to the floor. Here, we're taking our time. Enjoy a breath and let the spine lengthen. Let your vertebra make space in between. And let's do that a few times. Inhale. We're coming up. We're rolling the shoulders. We're squeezing shoulder blades together. We're inhaling and coming down in that rest space. Let maximum spaciousness between the vertebra extract. 3 more of these, baby cobra. Rest, length. Last one. Part of our therapeutic approach in movement is these rest spaces in between that allow for the body to move joint spaces and bone spaces, right? Finding our best alignments of things. Let's go ahead, come all the way down. One of my favorites, reversed corpse pose. Arms are extended in front, and we know forehead comes to the floor. If we need an alternative that doesn't involve that stretch of the arms, Jatsikasana with the hands at the occiput. Couple breaths. Inhale to the back body. Exhale, melt into the floor. Take your mind really to the spinal column. Encourage spaciousness between the vertebrae. Allow this natural course correction. Nice. I feel like we could stay here a really long time. Okay, here we are, arms extended. This is half locust pose. We're gonna lift opposite arm and leg, right arm, left leg lifts and down. Inhale, left arm, right leg, and down. Nice and flowy, slowy. 4 more times to each side. You don't have to lift very high for this to be effective. Getting the limbs off the floor. Last one here. And coming back to, now let's try out Jatsikasana. Interlace the fingers, resting half on the back of the head, half on the back of the neck. And this is going to give us a soft traction to the spine. You don't really have to do anything. You just have to rest the arm. Every breath an opportunity to breathe between the vertebrae. The weight of the hands, the heat of the hands penetrating these pressure point rich region of the occiput. Releasing hands. Again, a pose we could really spend some time in, to be honest with you. Okay, a little bit deeper back bend here. Sphinx pose, elbows under the shoulders, pushing into the floor, lifting up. A couple breaths here. Where could you be breathing to? I've got a lot of restriction in this upper thoracic, middle and upper thoracic. So it's like I can move somewhat through my low back, but the upper back is just, it feels like a stiff as a board. Let's move this into an easier to hold pose. Maybe I'll find more spaciousness and relaxation in this variation of crocodile. Now, sometimes my jaw likes this pose, sometimes it doesn't. So just really being aware of how you need to be adapting the pose for your body today. Each of these poses we've done deserve like 10 minutes each. And all of these poses are indicated in yoga therapy approaches for anything to do with reproductive system and pelvic bowl. These are some of my favorite tools in yoga therapy land. These are deep, deep, effective poses. But to get up to 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, we have to do that incrementally, or else we'll just get like sore and tight in the pose. And we want to maintain that fluid, flowy looseness. Taking some really slow breaths here. About one more. Like, nice breath in, walking the elbows forward. Might be a little cranky through there. A couple breaths, reverse corpse pose. Bring up your fishtail and rocking your fishtail from side to side. Another wonderful range of motion movement from this dorsal position. All right, all those holds. Things might have gotten a little cranky in there. So we bring back some range of motion. Get fluid moving through fluid filled spaces. Move the cranky on. Yeah, what is the cranky? Oh, yeah, all those like inflammatory markers and not toxins, naturally occurring toxic chemicals in the body. The delicious, greasy restaurant food that we ate this weekend. Oh, yeah. Cool. We're going to push ourselves up and back into child's pose. Use your elbows if you need to. And yeah, just give yourself a little bit of moment for crankiness, having done all those back bends. Right now, I'm feeling something that's, I've got the toes tucked under and I'm stretching back. And before I'm coming into a child's pose, yeah, so whatever is feeling good for you. All right, untucking the toes, moving backwards. Couple breaths here. Little range of motion for adductors. Inner thighs, legs are a little wider. And we're coming forward and back. So right now, feet are just straight back and enjoying range of motion movement through the hips. Getting into those little groin attachments, the inner thigh groin region, kind of getting wide. Okay, now a little bit more intense would be feet turned outward. I'm coming down now with my elbows and making this a smaller movement. And I'm really lucky today. I'm on a carpeted floor. So that's protecting my knees because this is really intense. Using my broad range of motion here. And now we hold. And use your elbows, draw the knees in towards one another, child's pose. Let's use child's pose, slight inverted position to move through the shoulders and underneath the armpits. Shoulder blades. Oh, this is the cranky business today. So what I'm doing is I'm walking my hands back, giving space. And it's not just a shoulder roll, really. I'm like under the shoulder blades, subscapula. I'm making the shoulder blades move up and down, getting some of this range of motion, kinetic heat type movement to loosen some of these layers of tissue. Now I'm walking back and I want to get sort of a paddling type movement. So now the shoulder blades are squeezing towards the midline. I'm almost all the way to diamond pose. I'm still just playing with this. And I'm really feeling the very pinpoint places that are holding. All the way up to diamond pose here. So really feeling wow underneath this left scapula. Okay, hey, let's check in with the spine. Cat pose breathing. Inhaling. What can we find in this basic staple pose right now? What's revealing itself in the anatomy? I've really been working through this anatomical spiral chain from the feet all the way to the head today. That's also quite indicative of this therapeutic movement approach. We're working with these kinetic chains, this fascial spiral. Back to center, side to side movement. Let's check in with the side body. What's happening there? Inhale, center. Exhale and turn. Find a heel. Nice. We're coming back to center. We said we need to do some earthen type things. So let's bring left foot forward. Make sure to support under this right knee. First thing we're doing are just little gentle pelvic tilts here. Let's actually do earth face stretch. I've got my right knee down, so right arm comes up. Excuse me, I want to feel this opening through the whole front part of the body, either side of the quads. Nice breath in. And let's do the opposite side. Here's where we get to some of that dampness. First, checking in pelvic tilt forward, backward. Woohoo, tightness in hip flexor. That's the domain of this earth phase fascial network. And left leg's down, left arm comes up. This nice opening stretch to the front part of the body. Nice breath in. Exhale down. Another variation, earth face stretch is like Supta Vajrasana. So we are just enjoying a little cramping today because it's so hot. Yes. Little bit of spaciousness. And the hands come back. So it's really more like a Virdasana, a hero's pose. Hands come back. Big stretch to the whole front part of the body. And hang out there. I've got a little foot cramp, so I'm just gonna let this foot cramp find its way towards something else. Cool. If you're hanging out in that pose, go ahead and come all the way back up and into a child's pose, a nice counter pose. Foot cramps are inspired by a lot of different things. Just FYI, when we're all trying to figure out, like, well, why is that happening? If we're in a supported child's pose with the forearms folded, we could just massage the forehead side to side. Nice, slowly coming up, and let's do a few seated poses. I'm gonna bring this blanket under the bum. Couple classic seated poses. Legs are extended. Janusirsasana, head to knee pose. We're gonna bring the right foot straight back. Press on the inside, flex the left foot. Could be inhaling, stretching up, exhale, reaching forward, right? So that this tightness that I'm experiencing in my upper body, it is not going to let me fold very far. I don't want to get to a place where that's pulling. So I have to find, like, this might be my pose. Where's the place where that stuff in the upper back isn't pulling? It's like, yeah, but isn't this pose mainly about the hamstrings? And like that sort of thing. Yeah, it's partly about that, and that's not the issue today. Right? So just as I narrate things, what I want this to do is inspire you to narrate your own story in your practice. This investigation, things that are open, things that are not open. Because then when we sort of whittle it down and start also connecting it to mental processes, emotional processes, this is so much like where we're connecting experiences we have in seated meditation with the experiences in life, with what we're feeling in the landscape of the body, how we can unlock our own stuck places when our stuck places are really very physically rooted, or when our stuck places are very emotionally or mentally rooted, or both, right? We get a little bit lost in the weeds when we're always searching for the why. Well, why is this the way it is? And instead, what if we invited ourselves into a frame of thinking of how is this connected? That's more like invest investigative, that's detective style. Let's switch sides. Left leg. Right? How is this all connected? Next inhale back up and down. Let's do a little Marityasana twist from here. So right leg comes across. We could hold at the knee. We could wrap around the elbow. We could bring this arm to the outside. Backhand pushing the chest forward. Turning towards the space behind. Breathe in. Switching sides. Oh, nice breath in. And exhale back to center, right where you are. Just fold the legs. Coming into a seated meditative posture. So, oh, what about Shavasana? What about this? Well, we relaxed along the way. That's kind of the fun. Like you can totally switch things up when you relax along the way. Coming into this place for a moment. Feel into this whole body. We're not the sum of its parts. We are whole and complete, even when the body is holding constrictive patterns, talking back, shouting at you, if you will. You are not just solely that place or places of discomfort. This whole body. If you're in a place where you'd like to just have a little meditation sit, yoga nidra, a journal and a daydream, that sounds so perfect. We're going to finish up our class here today, and I thank you all so much for joining. See you soon.